Salam keluarga Malaysia. Hello and good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brendan Paul and you're watching news at 10. Our headlines for tonight. Government agrees with restructuring of 4 pro-Lintas high toll companies. And telco providers reminded to ensure optimum coverage during GE15. The government has agreed with the proposal to restructure 4 highway toll concession companies under Pro-Lintas to reduce the toll rates of the highways involved. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the reduction of toll rates would come into effect at 12:01 a.m. on 20th October. He said the move would enable highway users to enjoy lower rates and lighten their burden.
Lebuh raya terbabit ialah lebuh raya bertingkat Ampang Kuala Lumpur ataupun Akleh, lebuh raya koridor Gatri GCE, lebuh raya Kemuning Shah Alam LKSA Laksa, dan lebuh raya saya ingat lepas ni boleh panggil Laksa lah. Dan lebuh raya lingkaran penyuraian trafik Kajang ataupun SERK. Ia akan berkuat kuasa pada jam 12:01 tengah malam 20 Oktober 2022. Manakala pengurangan kadar tol bagi lebuh raya Lekas dan Bes Raya di bawah kumpulan IGM Corporation Berhad akan berkuat kuasa mulai 1 Januari 2023.
The Prime Minister announced this at the opening of the Damansara Shah Alam Elevated Highway Dash. Through the latest restructuring, the government will save 8.8 billion ringgit in estimated compensation, which should be paid to the concession companies involved. Meanwhile, Prime Minister said in an effort to accommodate the high traffic and deal with the problem of traffic congestion on the Kuala Lumpur-Karak Expressway from the Gombak Plaza toll to the Bentong Plaza toll, the government will build an additional lane and a new tunnel at Genting Sempah. He said flood mitigation works on the East Coast Highway Phase 1 will also be carried out as floods often occur on the highway. Commenting on the opening of the Dash Highway, the Prime Minister said the government fully supports the efforts and continued commitment of concessionaires in boosting the development of the country's infrastructure. He said the 20.1-kilometre long highway from Puncak Perdana to Penchala is expected to stimulate the development and growth of economic areas such as new housing and commercial areas along the highway.
Projek Lebuh Raya Dash ini merupakan salah satu daripada 53 buah projek berimpak tinggi dalam program transformasi ekonomi ataupun ETP yang bertujuan mewujudkan peluang pekerjaan, menjana limpahan perniagaan dan merangsang serta menyediakan banyak kegiatan ekonomi yang lebih berdaya maju. Menerusi pembinaan Lebuh Raya Dash, sejumlah 12,000 peluang pekerjaan dicipta, membabitkan pengurusan, kejuruteraan, teknikal, pembantu barisan hadapan dan pekerja kontrak.
The highway, which began construction in August 2016, was completed on 30th September and it is able to reduce traffic congestion in several strategic locations, such as along Persiaran Mokhtar Dahari, Jalan Sungai Buloh and Persiaran Surian by up to 40% during peak hours. In conjunction with the launching of the highway, the Prime Minister announced usage of the highway will be for free or without toll for 1 month from 12:01 a.m. tonight. Telecommunications service providers have been reminded to provide full cooperation to the Election Commission (EC) during the 15 general election. Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said the move was necessary so that the EC could carry out its duties as well as ensuring that news reporting from such locations run smoothly.
Kita telah minta supaya MC membuat semakan tahap dan kapasiti internet, terutama sekali pusat penjumlahan undi, sama ada di peringkat PDM, peringkat daerah mengundi, dan tempat pusat penjumlahan undi. Jadi line internet itu satu perkara yang sangat penting.
Commenting further, Tan Sri Anwar said that based on past experience during the election period, internet traffic in certain locations will be higher. However, the quality in the polling areas is currently better, in line with the implementation of the National Digital Network, Jendela. And on another note, Tan Sri Anwar said all government programs, including the handing over of devices under the Keluarga Malaysia Student Device Program, will continue, even though the parliament has been dissolved. He also dismissed rumours that the Student Device Program had stopped following the dissolution.
Jangan ada dalam sosial media yang menyebarkan khabar-khabar yang tidak betul. Ya. Dan penyampaian memang akan diteruskan dibuat secara berperingkat. Tidak ada kaitan dengan soal pembubaran parlimen, program kerajaan, program kementerian berjalan seperti biasa.
Tan Sri Anwar said this after distributing devices to students at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan SMK Melo, Kota Baru. Commenting further, Tan Sri Anwar, who is also Keterah MP, said that 221,000 out of almost 500,000 student device applications in the first and second phases have been approved. The rest is in the review process and is expected to be completed by the end of November. Now, individuals who are COVID-19 positive but not in critical condition will be allowed to vote in the 15 General Election G15. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, however, said they will have to comply with strict standard operating procedures, which will be announced by the Election Commission, EC. He said the Health Ministry, MOH, had given several recommendations to the EC to be included in the SOP to ensure the election process is smooth and safe.
Yang kes positif tak kritikal boleh mengundi dengan syarat patuh pada SOP. Jangan lupa dengan syarat SOP lah, antara dia pemakaian penutup muka, pakai shield. Ini yang penting lah, yang ataupun yang sanitizer dan sebagainya.
The Health DG was met at the national level World Sight Day 2022 celebration in Kuala Terengganu. Separately, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said the MOH has also made preparations for the monsoon flood season by placing its personnel at the Temporary Relief Centres, PPS, and also by identifying locations with high-risk patients. And yet to come, Alif Shukri pleads not guilty to court charges. Stay with us. But first, PAS is sticking to its stand not to seek dissolution of the state legislative assemblies of states under its rule, Kelantan, Terengganu and Kedah, for simultaneous elections with the 15 General Election G15. Now, this was decided at PAS's Central Working Committee meeting held for about 4 hours at the party's headquarters in the capital today. PAS President Tan Sri Abdul Hadi Awang said PAS also made a decision to strengthen cooperation in Perikatan Nasional PN in the spirit of Ummah unity. He said apart from that, the meeting also decided to finalize discussions on the party's candidates for GE15. The lists of candidates from the states need to be taken up for evaluation by the Shura Ulama Council. The terms of the Kelantan, Terengganu and Kedah state assemblies only end in July next year. Pahang Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Wan Rosdi Wan Ismail said the position of the Pahang State Legislative Assembly will be known soon after passing Budget 2023. He said the priority for the time being is to pass the budget, which was tabled last Friday, so that the state government's plan for the benefit of the people could be implemented. Asked whether Pahang Budget 2023 is valid if a state election is held soon, Datuk Seri Wan Rosli confirmed that it is valid, and if it is not passed, it has to be tabled again.
InsyaAllah dalam masa terdekat. Kita nak luluskan dulu bajet belanjawan yang dibentangkan di Sidang Dewan. Itu penting untuk rakyat. Kita nak mendapat keputusan supaya Pak Kerajaan boleh berbelanja untuk diberi kepada rakyat. Kalau tidak, pejabat awam pun tak dapat sebulan setengah tu. Kalau tidak lulus, yang tu dulu. Lulus saja yang tu, anytime.
Datuk Seri Wan Rosli was asked on the status of Pahang Assembly at the presentation of flood preparation contribution by Petronas to the state government at Wisma Sri Pahang in Kuantan today. On Tuesday, he told the media that he is still waiting for the audience date with Pahang Region Tengku Hasan Al-Ibrahim Alam Shah, Al-Sultan Abdullah Riyatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah on the dissolution of Pahang Assembly. Earlier, Barisan Nasional BN Chairman Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the state assemblies under BN, except Melaka and Sabah, would be dissolved simultaneously with the dissolution of Parliament to make way for the 15th General Election GE15. And in other news, cosmetics entrepreneur Datuk Seri Alif Shukri Kamar Zaman pleaded not guilty in the Sepang Sessions Court today to 4 charges of improper use of network facilities by uploading offensive video content through his Instagram account last April. Datuk Seri Alif Shukri, 35, made the plea before Judge Ahmad Rizki Abdul Jalil. He was charged with sending offensive communications using the Instagram account Alif Shukri Telaja Laris with the intention of annoying others last 13th, 15th, 17th and 21st April. The charge provides a maximum fine of 50,000 ringgit or up to a year's jail or both if found guilty. The court allowed Datuk Seri Alif Shukri bail of 20,000 ringgit with one surety and set 25th November for mention. The entrepreneur posted the bail. Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC Deputy Public Prosecutor Fazril Sani Muhammad Fadzil prosecuted, while Alif Shukri was represented by lawyers Has Hahari Johari Alwi and Awang Armadajaya Awang Mahmud. The cosmetic entrepreneur created controversy last April after uploading Idol Fitri video clips featuring a group of male dancers in makeup who display effeminate behavior. Courted controversy, and it was said to be unsuitable for public consumption, especially during Ramadan. An e-hailing driver was charged in the Johor Bahru Magistrates Court today over the death of a 4-year-old boy earlier this month. Chan Wan Ji, 28, nodded after the charge was read out to him in Mandarin before Magistrate R. Salini. However, no plea was recorded as the case is under the jurisdiction of the High Court. Chan was charged under Section 3 Code for murdering the boy at a house in Taman Skudai Ria, Skudai, between 8 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. last 2nd October. But set 17 November for mention. Deputy Public Prosecutor Nur Aina Shakira Muhammad Shafiq Sim prosecuted, while lawyer K. Viranesh Babu represented Chan. Meanwhile, in the same court, an Indonesian maid who was arrested in the case was sentenced to 6 months in jail after she pleaded guilty to a charge of entering the country without a valid document. Juliana, 40, was charged with committing the offence at the same location at 10:15 a.m. last 3rd October. She was charged under Section 6, Subsection 1, Subsection C of the Immigration Act 1959/63. Now, police have smashed 2 drug labs and confiscated 2.8 billion ringgit worth of drugs and equipment after raiding 2 condominium units on Tuesday. Kuala Lumpur Deputy Police Chief Dato' Yahaya Othman said that in the first raid, police arrested 5 people, including a woman from China, at a condominium in Taman Desa. Police seized 35 kilograms of shabu, estimated to be worth about 1.3 million ringgit. Dato' Yahaya said 3 of the suspects had previous records for drug-related offences. In the second raid, held at a condominium in Wang Semaju, at the same time, police arrested 2 people and seized drugs worth 1.5 million ringgit.
Hasil daripada serbuan dan tangkapan yang pertama ini, kita telah membuat serbuan di sebuah rumah atau di kondominium di unit yang sama, iaitu telah merampas sebanyak 57 kilogram dadah jenis mushroom dan juga 17.7 gram dadah jenis ganja, 23 botol cecair yang vape mengandungi dadah, 2.9 kilo serbuk untuk memproses dadah, 27.8 liter cecair kimia untuk memproses dadah dan pelbagai peralatan dan mesin untuk memproses dadah.
Briefing reporters today, Dato' Yahaya said the suspects bought the mushrooms online from overseas and processed them at home before selling them on the dark web for local consumption. He added the second syndicate was believed to have been operating for about 3 months. All the suspects have been remanded for 7 days. In a foreign front, Indonesia high-speed rail project proceeds despite a $1 billion overrun. Stay with us. But first, Sabah will never be ceded to or come under the control of the Philippines, and Malaysia will always defend the integrity of its territorial sovereignty. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, said this to clarify and expand upon a question posed by Kota Kinabalu MP Chan Fung Hin in Parliament on 6 October in respect of the ongoing arbitral dispute known as the Sulu Claim. The unlawful Paris Award was handed down by the arbitrator Gonzalo Stampa on 28 February 2022 and purportedly awarded the Sulu claimants a sum of $14.92 billion. Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi explained the unlawful Paris Award was a result of a private claim, meaning that the claim was made by private individuals and not by the government of the Philippines. He said the Sulu claim is an attack on and an infringement of Malaysia's sovereign and economic interests abroad. The Sulu claimants are using the arbitral process, which is a private international law mechanism, to attack Malaysia's sovereign interests abroad. Battersea Project Holding Company, or BPHC, expects to achieve full completion of its £9 billion gross development value GDV Battersea Power Station by 2033, creating a new cultural destination for locals and visitors from around the world. BPHC Chairman Dato' Jagan Sabapathy said the project, which is developed in 7 key phases, has reached 60% completion with £5 billion out of the total gross development value realized. The project, he said, is the creation of a mixed-use destination offering a community of homes, shops, restaurants, offices, culture and leisure venues, as well as 7.689 hectares of public space, all linked by an extension to the London Underground Northern Line. The commercial assets within the power station building will be officially open to the public on 14 October.
A lot of Londoners who know this project, who know that it's been empty and derelict for 40 years, I think most of them, without exception, are excited. And I think the proof will be in the pudding on Friday when people come in, they see for themselves the level of restoration, the level of detail, the fact that we have within this iconic building been able to put in some wonderful retail offerings and F&B offerings.
He said this to the Malaysian media after a presentation and briefing of the project development. According to Dato' Jagan, all projects have their own challenges, but since all the infrastructure is in place, the new phases will be phased out accordingly and create significant values for the stakeholders. Located south of the Thames, the Battersea Power Station, or BPS, is proudly owned by a Malaysian consortium comprising Sime Darby Property Berhad and SP Setia Berhad, each holding a 40% stake, with the remaining 20% held by the Employees' Provident Fund, EPF. A high-speed railway project in Indonesia, part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, is on track for a 2023 launch despite ongoing negotiations between the two countries about the project being over budget. President Joko Widodo inspected a new train station where the consortium building the railway, PT Kereta Cepat Indonesia China (KCIC), displayed a stationary China-made bullet train on the tracks. The 142-kilometer line will connect the capital Jakarta with one of the country's largest cities, Bandung. KCIC said the project is facing a cost overrun of about $1 billion, raising the estimated total cost to 113 trillion rupiah, or $7.36 billion. China estimated the project is less than $1 billion over budget. KCIC's President Director Dwiana Slamet Riyadi confirmed the discrepancy in cost calculations, saying negotiations were underway to resolve it. Dwiana said discussions were ongoing as to whether Chinese President Xi Jinping may witness a trial run of the rail project when he visits the Southeast Asian country next month for the G20 Leaders Summit. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw the launch of two long-range strategic cruise missiles, as the state media today reported, calling it a test to confirm the reliability and operation of nuclear-capable weapons deployed to military units. Korea Central News Agency KCNA added that the missiles had clearly hit the target 1,000 kilometers away. Pyongyang first tested the strategic cruise missile in September 2021, which was seen by analysts as possibly the country's first such weapon with nuclear capability. Wednesday's test confirms that nuclear and that it is operational, although it is unclear whether North Korea can build warheads small enough for a cruise missile. Meanwhile, Japan's defense minister said North Korea has most likely developed miniaturized nuclear warheads small enough to be carried by medium-range ballistic missiles in an attack. At a lower house committee in Parliament, Hamada Yasukazu said North Korea has likely achieved the capability of mounting miniaturized warheads on missiles, such as the Nodong and Scud-ER, which can reach Japan. Earlier this month, North Korea fired an intermediate-range ballistic missile, IRBM, farther than ever before, flying over Japan for the first time since 2017.